Like a lot of you out there, I've also got infected with the sickness that is Marvel Rivals. And also like a lot of you, I'm down with the sickness. Marvel Rivals for me personally quenched my thirst for a good hero shooter since my Paladins days. I never got into Overwatch when it was at its peak, since at the time it actually cost money and I was a brokey. But I ended up stumbling onto Paladins instead since it was free, and I never looked back. Until like 3 years ago when I started Apex. Even though it wasn't Overwatch, I ended up loving the hero shooter formula that Overwatch started, which makes sense as to why I'm so addicted to Rivals. But y'all don't care about that. We're here to talk about music, baby. Marvel Rivals may not have a huge selection, but their selection is very unique and diverse. But something that connects them all is their use of the electric guitar and horns to give off a very heroic aesthetic. Since most of the OST is tied to locations, there is a sense of identity between the music of these locations. It's actually pretty standard in gaming and media nowadays. Let me not glaze Rivals for that. But this distinction helps the tracks from these stages stand out from each other. And with that, I'm going to rank the OST of Marvel Rivals from 10 to 1. Of course, this is my opinion and not factual. And I ain't no damn critic. I'm just a guy who loves music and games. So let's get it. Nothing against this one for being number 10. It's just simply the weakest one out of the selection. I'll give it one thing, and that it does fit the tone of traveling onto a dangerous fortress or base and gearing up for the unknown. Too bad the Hydra base maps suck in my opinion. This is a good continuation to the last track, making you feel like you've geared up and are now ready to explore and face whatever it is you are about to encounter. The second part of this track is also a fucking banger, with it feeling like the stakes are ramping up and you are running out of time. Like, do you hear the guitar? Jesus, whoever be on that should be going crazy. Still don't like any of these maps from the Hydra base though. Sorry. Imagine you are in a dark, unknown lair. You're scared, not knowing what lurks beyond. You flash your light towards something you saw on the wall. You could have swore it moved. And then BAM! A game-ended body right on your feet. Or something. Nah, but for real, this gives the feeling of walking onto a very dangerous planet and carrying out a very important but delicate mission very well. The quote-unquote desperation part of the track is also really good, with the horns really emphasizing the severity of the situation, of your team needing to get the fuck back on point to stop the objective in the overtime. This is actually part of the previous track, but it's higher than it on the list because I just like it better. It actually perfectly fits what's happening in the visual before the match starts, with you on a crashing ship, preparing for its inevitable crash by gearing up, and when it does crash, you are left to carry out the mission you traveled here to do on this dangerous planet. The guitar does its justice here yet again. Anyone else feel like this is gonna be a trend here? Alright, not gonna lie, it might be because I'm black, but I love all the Wakanda music in this game.
What?
Mainly cause in all of them is some type of harmonization. This one in particular though, just gives off such a Wakandan vibe, like something you'd hear from the movie, with the emphasis from the drums and the bass giving it that tropical or island vibe, symbolizing African roots. And the chanting in the second half of the track, oh my god. Truly a great track. For all my brothers and sisters out there, Wakanda forever. Nick. I'm a simple man. I like the Japanese aesthetic, and I like punk. Somewhat. This track gives off a very cyberpunk theme, but in Japan type of sound, which is a concept that I'm actually interested in musically. There is this string you always hear in Japanese aesthetic or influenced games that is used here, amongst other Japanese instruments, and I could never for the life of me figure out what it is, but whenever I hear it, it's always from a game in a Japanese setting, whether it be Tenchu, Red Steel, or Sleeping Dogs. When you hear it, you think of Japan, and I mean, it's called Tokyo Showdown. You could put the puzzle pieces together. Okay, this just sounds godly. That's it. The first part makes you feel like you are rebelling against the rule of a godlike figure in his empire. And then, when that guitar starts ripping the asshole of the track, is when you are met face to face with said god, while he laughs at your seemingly pathetic attempt to run him off his throne, with the choir in the back increasing and intensifying his maniacal gaze. And the second part of the track just keeps up the tone as the rebellion doesn't back down, preparing every and all offensive and defensive measures to ensure victory over their oppressor. The drums and the guitar emphasizing a sign of hope for the people as the choir comes in to support it. And unlike the rest of the tracks, this has a third part to it, sounding like the battle has concluded and the war was hard fought, with the track now sounding mellowed out. With the reflection of war, everyone can now look to a brighter future, knowing that they are no longer ruled by oppression, but are now set free. Yo, let me know if y'all like that little, that little exposition with the track on the background and everything. I'm experimenting. This track is everything I could want in a Wakandan track. I'm not gonna lie. The harmonization is just so damn beautiful in both parts of the track, and the transition from one to the other is just nut-worthy. Also in the second part, when the guitar and the drums mix with the bass, that shit is a banger. I always find myself rocking to the rhythm of that part when I get this map in-game. Definitely deserves top 3. Alright, this one is a simple explanation. It's just a banger, through and through. Like, I could dead bump this track outside the game, rocking my head to the rhythm and everything. The bass along with the beat just makes this so damn fire, and sounds like the start to a Japanese rap freestyle. There's also the use of a flute instrument that fits the Japanese aesthetic, and they incorporate it so well with the beat, as well as the little vocals in the second part of the track. I always find myself whistling the parts of the track where the flute is emphasized, especially in the second part. Bro, tracks like these make me so interested in the composition process for specific songs, like knowing what instruments you want to use, how to incorporate them and put them together to make a cohesive and catchy song that fits the aesthetic of the stage it's playing in. It's all so interesting. This track has a soft spot for me, since it's the track I heard coming into this game, but it's undeniable how good this shit is. This is a perfect way to be introduced and immersed into a game and respectfully deserves number 1. But do you hear those guitar solos? Oh my god. And then when it's accompanied by the drums, it's like sex for your ears. I can't wait to look back on this track in a year from now and reminisce on Season 0 and my first time playing this game. Marvel Rivals took the gaming community by storm and ended up taking my ears by storm as well with its actually great soundtrack. Usually from games like these, the soundtrack would be pretty average or just okay. Even with Paladins, I found the vanilla soundtrack okay, and it got more repetitive the longer I played. But so far in my Rivals career, I'm just constantly enjoying all the music. Now, regardless of this list, all of the music in this game is banger material in their own way. Did I just invalidate my list by saying that? No. Because obviously I like some tracks better than others, and I am aware that other people's lists will look very different from mine. If you have a different number 1, top 3, or top 5 than me, let me know what's up, and show me your list in the comments. If you simply think all the songs are equally good, I won't blame you either. Like and subscribe for more OST videos like these. I plan to talk about more specific games like Final Fantasy, Sonic, Pokemon, and even some anime. I hope y'all have a good rest of y'all day. I'll see y'all.